So yesterday we were discussing about various techniques of ART, assisted reproductive technology. First we discussed about test tube babies, IVF, ET. Then we discussed about gift, gamete intrafallopian transfer. Then we discussed about ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. And now today we are going to discuss about artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. So artificial insemination means depositing the semen into the vagina or uterus of the female by some artificial means. When a male and female go for intercourse, male deposits the semen into the vagina of female through his penis. That is known as natural insemination. But sometimes certain couples they are suffering from infertility. Then we need to deposit the semen by artificial means into their vagina. So when semen is not deposited naturally, but semen is deposited by some artificial means into the vagina or into the uterus, that is known as artificial insemination. So why we require this artificial insemination? Because sometimes males or females, they may be having some problem with the natural insemination process, or they may be having some infertility, right? So artificial insemination, it is of two types. One is known as artificial insemination husband. Another is known as artificial insemination donor. So when the semen of husband is inseminated artificially into the vagina or into the uterus of the female, that is known as artificial insemination husband. When husband's semen is used for deposition in the vagina or in the uterus by artificial means, that is known as artificial insemination husband. Sometimes semen is obtained from a sperm bank. And this semen obtained from sperm bank, it is artificially introduced into the vagina or into the uterus of the female. Then it is known as artificial insemination donor, right? So what are the reasons for artificial insemination husband? So artificial insemination husband, it may be required. It is used if the husband, if the male of the couple, if the husband is suffering from retrograde ejaculation. We have discussed about retrograde ejaculation. Retrograde ejaculation is a condition when the semen, instead of flowing into penile urethra and to the outside, it goes into uterus. It goes into urinary bladder. Sometimes certain people, certain males, they have got defective urethral sphincter, right? And at the time of ejaculation, this urethral sphincter it should get closed, but their urethral sphincter does not close, and semen goes directly into urinary bladder. So they experience dry ejaculation. That is known as retrograde ejaculation. All the sperms get killed in the urine of the urinary bladder, right? So those males they become infertile. So we can overcome this infertility problem. How? By surgical procedure. By surgical procedure. Husband's sperms. By surgical procedure, husband's sperms are extracted out from epididymis before ejaculation. A minute cut is given in the sucrotal sac, and through that minute cut, epididymis is also cut, and from epididymis, the sperms are extracted. You know, epididymis is the site where the sperms are stored, right? If the male is suffering from retrograde ejaculation. So, an incision is made in sucrotal sac into epididymis, and from epididymis, the sperms are obtained. Then these sperms are artificially introduced into the vagina or into the uterus of her female partner, right? So this is known as artificial insemination husband. So this may be used for overcoming this infertility because of retrograde ejaculation. Or in certain cases, some females, they have got damaged cervical canal. They have got damaged cervical canal. If a female has got damaged cervical canal, she cannot be naturally inseminated. If semen is deposited in her vagina, then sperms have to travel through the cervical canal. When the cervical canal is damaged, it is blocked, then sperms may not reach into uterus. So in that case, the sperms are obtained from the male partner. Then by the help of artificial method, by the help of a tube or by other means, these sperms, they are directly deposited into the vagina of the female. So cervix is bypassed. So that is known as artificial insemination husband, right? So husband's semen is collected. Then instead of depositing it in vagina, it is directly deposited into the uterus of the female by artificial method. So that is also artificial insemination husband. So this is used for those females who have got damaged cervical canal. Or in some females, there are anti-sperm antibodies. Anti-sperm antibodies in cervical canal. In cervical canal. So a female who has got anti-sperm antibodies in cervical canal becomes infertile. Because when the male is inseminating her naturally, at that time semen is deposited in the vagina. Then from vagina, the sperms have to cross through the cervical canal into the uterus, right? But when sperm meet the anti-sperm antibodies in cervical canal, those antibodies kill the sperm. So the female becomes infertile, right? In order to overcome this problem of anti-sperm antibodies in cervical canal, now the semen, instead of being deposited in the vagina, semen is directly deposited into the uterus of the female by artificial means, right? So that is also known as artificial insemination husband. So in artificial insemination husband, husband's sperms are collected, then they are deposited by artificial procedure, by artificial means, either into the uterus directly or in the vagina. In case of retrograde ejaculation, the semen, the sperms, they can be directly deposited in the vagina, wherefrom they will go into uterus and they may fertilize the ovum, or they may be directly deposited into the uterus, right? In case of damaged cervical canal, sperms cannot be deposited in the vagina because they have to pass through the cervix, right? So in this case, the sperms are directly, semen is directly deposited in the uterus of the female by artificial means, by a delivery tube, right? In case of anti-sperm antibodies in cervical canal, semen cannot be deposited in the vagina, right? So semen is collected from the husband, and this semen is directly deposited into the uterus of the female by artificial method through a delivery tube. So this is known as artificial insemination husband. So in artificial insemination husband, husband's semen is used and it is artificially introduced into the body of our female partner. Then there is artificial insemination donor. When it is used, artificial insemination donor. So here, mostly the sperms are obtained from the sperm bank, where they have been deposited by some unknown donors, right? In case of artificial insemination donor, semen is obtained from sperm bank. Sperm bank. In this sperm bank, these sperms, they have been donated by some donors, right? So why should we use a donor's sperm? So donor sperm is used in certain cases. For example, a female is a lesbian. A female is a lesbian. Lesbian females are those females which are sexually attracted to other females. So they enjoy sex with other females. They do not like males. Now, if such a female who is a lesbian wants to have a child, right? She prefers to go to sperm bank, wherefrom she gets the sperms, and then she gets these sperms artificially introduced into her vagina or into her uterus, so that she may bear a child without marrying a male, right? So in case of lesbian females, this artificial insemination donor, it may be used, right? Similarly, there are some males who suffer from azoospermia. A male who is suffering from azoospermia does not have any sperms in his semen. There is a couple whose male is suffering from azoospermia. The male is not producing sperms. Now his wife wants to have a child, and they go to a sperm bank. they get the sperms from the sperm bank. Then these sperms are artificially introduced into her vagina or into her uterus so that they may fertilize her own ovum, right? So this is known as artificial insemination donor because the sperm has been donated by a donor in the sperm bank. Similarly, artificial insemination donor, it can be also used for those males who are impotent. Some males are impotent. So these impotent males, they are not able to deposit their semen in the body of their female, right? So in that case, the semen may be obtained from the sperm bank, and then it can be artificially introduced into the body of female, where it may fertilize the ovum and the female may become pregnant, right? So this artificial insemination, it is of two types. In artificial insemination husband sperms are used, and in artificial insemination donor, sperms are obtained from a sperm bank to overcome the infertility. This infertility, it may be caused because of retrograde ejaculation, because of damaged cervical canal, because of anti-sperm antibodies, or the other cause for this artificial insemination donor may be the female may be lesbian, her male partner may be suffering from a normal female who is not lesbian. She is married, but her partner is suffering from azoospermia, or her partner is suffering from impotence, right? So in these two cases, they may also get the sperms from the sperm bank, and they may get them deposited in the body of the female, and that will lead to the fertilization, and they may bear children, right? So this is the application of assisted reproductive technology in helping infertile couples to bear children, right? So a lot of females are being benefited through this assisted reproductive technology, and it has solved the problem of infertility to a greater extent in our society nowadays. So that is all about assisted reproductive technology. So with this, we come to the end of reproductive health topic, right? With this, we come to the end of reproductive health topic. Yes. After this, what we have to discuss? Okay, now we will start unit second. That is genetics and evolution. Genetics and evolution. So in the genetics portion of this topic, first we are going to discuss about sex chromosomes. We are going to discuss about sex chromosomes. So what are sex chromosomes? Sex chromosomes are the chromosomes which are involved in determination of sex. Determination of sex in diploid organisms. In diploid organisms. So you know, we have got 46 chromosomes in our body, which are in the form of 23 pairs. Out of these 23 pairs of chromosomes, we say we have got 22 pairs of autosomes and we have got one pair of sex chromosomes. Right? So sex chromosomes are those chromosomes which lead to sex determination, which determine whether the developing offspring, the future offspring, will be a male or a female, right? So these sex chromosomes, they are also known as sex chromosomes. They are also known as allosomes, or they are also known as heterosomes. Heterosomes. So in case of human beings, we have got 44 autosomes. And we have got one pair of sex chromosomes in females as XX and in males as XY, right? So this XX chromosome in females, it is the sex chromosomes, and XY chromosome in males, this is the sex chromosome, allosome or heterosome. Because it is the combination of these sex chromosomes which determines whether the future offspring will be a male or a female, right? So this XX and XY, in case of human beings, they are known as sex chromosomes, allosomes or heterosomes. The remaining 44 pairs of chromosomes, which have no role in determination of sex, they are known as autosomes. They are known as autosomes, right? Who discovered this sex chromosome? Sex chromosomes, they were discovered by, they were first reported by Hermann Henking in 1891. It was Hermann Henking in 1891 who first time reported sex chromosome X. Sex chromosome X. But Hermann Henking did not know that it is a chromosome. He didn't recognize it as a chromosome. Hermann Henking named this darkly staining body as X body or as X element because he did not know that it is a chromosome. Actually, Hermann Henking was working on some bugs. He was studying their meiosis. He found that there is a dark staining body which is not participating in the cell division. He named this dark staining body as X body or X element, right? Then it was Wilson. It was Wilson in 1905 who recognized that this X body or X element, it is a chromosome, and Wilson named it as X chromosome. Wilson named it as an X chromosome, right? Are you understanding what I am saying? Basically, first time it was seen by Hermann Henking, but he did not recognize it as a chromosome. He only found it as a dark staining body. He called this dark staining body as X body or X element, right? Then who found that this dark body, X body or X element is a chromosome? It was recognized as a chromosome by Wilson in 1905. And Wilson named it as X chromosome. And Wilson named it as X chromosome. Then there was another scientist, Nettie City one. Nettie City ones. In 1905, she found that this X chromosome, it has got a partner also. It has got a counterpart in males, right? And she named that counterpart of X chromosome in males as Y chromosome. Right? So Y chromosome was first seen by Nettie City ones. It was found in males. In females, its counterpart was named as X chromosome. So she named this Y chromosome in males as this another chromosome, its counterpart chromosome as Y chromosome, right? So this is how sex chromosomes were discovered. So sex chromosome was first observed by Hermann Henking. He did not recognize it as a chromosome. He only recognized it as a darkly staining body. He called it X body or X element. Then it was Wilson in 1905 who recognized that this X body or X element is in fact a chromosome, right? And he named this chromosome as X chromosome. Then it was Nettie City ones who found its counterpart in males, and she named this counterpart as Y chromosome. So that is about the discovery of X and Y chromosome, right? Now these sex chromosomes, they exhibit two different conditions in animals. Sex chromosomes exhibit two different conditions in animals. They are found in two different conditions. Sex chromosomes, they are found in two different conditions. One is known as male heterogamy. Another is known as female heterogamy. In male heterogamy, a male produces different types of sperms. A male may produce, the males produce, sorry, as male not. Males may produce different types of sperms. Some males they produce sperm with sex chromosome X. Some males they produce sperm with sex chromosome Y. And some males they produce sperm without a sex chromosome. In male heterogamy, males produce different types of sperms. Some males produce sperm with sex chromosome X. Some males produce sperm with sex chromosome Y. And some males produce sperms without a sex chromosome. That is known as a sperm without a sex chromosome is represented as 0 here, right? Similarly, in female heterogamy, the female produces ovas of different types. The females produce ovas of different types. Some females they produce ovum with sex chromosome X. Some females they produce ovum with sex chromosome Y, and some females they produce ovum without a sex chromosome. In female heterogamy, females produce different types of ova, right? Some females they produce ovum with sex chromosome X. Some females they produce ovum with sex chromosome Y, and some females they produce ovum without any sex chromosome. So, in order to avoid confusion, because we say XY0 here, XY0 here, in order to avoid confusion, in this condition, X is represented by Z, Y is represented by W, right? And 0 is represented by 0, right? So we change the notation here in females. Otherwise, in female heterogamy, the female produces the ova having sex chromosome X, Y, and 0. But it may create some confusion. So we replace X by Z, Y by W, right? Otherwise, it is not Z chromosome and W chromosome in females. These females also have got X and Y chromosomes. But to avoid this confusion, we replace X by Z and Y by W. So in male heterogamy, males may produce different types of sperms. A male may have a sperm with X chromosome Y. Sorry, a male may have a sperm with sex chromosome X. A male may have sperm with sex chromosome Y, or male may have sperm without a sex chromosome. In female heterogamy, a female may produce ovum with sex chromosome Z. A female may produce ovum with sex chromosome W, and a female may produce an ovum without a sex chromosome. Now, this male heterogamy, it is further divided into two types. It is further divided into two types. It is one condition is known as XXXY condition, and it is another condition is known as XXX0 condition, right? Similarly, female heterogamy is divided into two types: ZW, ZZ condition, and Z0, ZZ condition, right? Now, male heterogamy is divided into two types: XXXY condition. Of course, XX is the female and XY is the male. Similarly, XX is the female and X0 is the male, right? And in female heterogamy, ZW is the female and ZZ is the male. Z0 is the female and ZZ is the male. So, right? So here the male is heterogametic. Male is heterogametic. Here the female is heterogametic, right? So this male heterogamy, it is of two types: XXXY, XXX0, and female heterogamy is of two types: ZW, ZZ, Z0, ZZ. Now we will discuss these conditions one by one. So we will start with the male heterogamy. We will start with male heterogamy. You call it as hetero or hetero. It is one and the same thing. So first we will see XX XY condition in male heterogamy, right? So this condition, it is found in all mammals. It is found in all mammals. And it is found also in most of the insects. Most of the insects, including Drosophila. Including Drosophila. The fruit fly. The fruit fly. So this condition is found in all mammals and most of the insects, including Drosophila. So this condition is also known as insect type condition. This is also known as insect type sex chromosomes. This condition is also known as insect type sex chromosomes because it is found in most of the insects. So some authors also call it as insect type sex chromosomes, right? So here in this condition, XXXY condition, a female is homogametic, a male is heterogametic. So this female, it is homogametic. What do you understand by homogametic? When meiosis occurs in the germ cells of the female, it produces the ova. It produces the ova. And all the ova have sex chromosome X in them, right? So when the ova are having the same type of sex chromosome, we call it homogametic. The gametes are similar. Why the gametes are similar? Because all the gametes, they possess the sex chromosome X. That is why we call it as homogametic. And the female is also homomorphic. Homomorphic for sex chromosomes. For sex chromosomes. What do you understand by homomorphic? Both the sex chromosomes, they are similar in shape and size. When both the sex chromosomes are similar in shape and size, we call it as homomorphic. Homo means similar, morphic means having same type of morphology, right? So morphologically, the two sex chromosomes, they are similar. That is why we call it as homomorphic. When the female produces gametes, the female releases ova. All the ova, they have got sex chromosome X in it. All the ova has got sex chromosome X in it. That is why we call it as homogametic. Now, if we look at the males, in XXXY condition, what about the males of XXXY condition? Here, the males are first heteromorphic for sex chromosome. A male has got two sex chromosomes, X and Y. This X is a larger sex chromosome. It is larger. In contrast to it, male Y chromosome is smaller. It is smaller, right? One of the arms of Y chromosome is extremely small. One of the arms of Y chromosome is extremely small. A chromosome has got two chromatids, right? This chromatid, it has got a very small arm. So it assumes the shape of Y. That is why it has been named as Y chromosome, right? X chromosome is like this. One chromatid, another chromatid. So it assumes the shape of X. That is why it is known as X chromosome. So this X chromosome, it is larger in size. Y chromosome is smaller in size. So they are different in shape and size. Hetero means different. Morphology means shape and size. So both these chromosomes, they are different in shape and size. So we say male is heteromorphic for sex chromosomes. Now, if the male produces gametes, when meiosis occurs, how many types of gametes the male will produce after meiosis? Male may produce one gamete with sex chromosome X. Male may produce another type of gamete with sex chromosome Y. At the time of meiosis, these chromosomes, they will be distributed in daughter cells. So one daughter cell will receive X chromosome, another daughter cell will receive Y chromosome. So one sperm will be with X chromosome, one sperm will be with Y chromosome. So male is heterogamete. Male produces two types of gametes. Male is heteromorphic and heterogametic for sex chromosome. This gamete with sex chromosome X, it is known as gynosperm. This sperm with sex chromosome X, it is known as gynosperm. And this sperm with sex chromosome Y, it is known as androsperm. So male produces two types of sperms, gynosperms and androsperms. Although they are in equal proportions, 50% of the sperms will be gynosperms, 50% of the sperms will be androsperms, right? So male produces two types of sperms, gynosperms and androsperms in equal amounts. So male is said to be heterogametic and heteromorphic for the sex chromosome, and female is said to be homogametic and homomorphic for the sex chromosomes, right? So this is all about the condition of XX and XY, right? Now in this, there is another condition, XXX0. Since we are running out of time, we will discuss that in next lecture. Thank you for being with me. Any doubts? Thank you, sir. No shak.